fantastic comeback. I thought with the lads, by the first 10-15 minutes when we started awfully, I thought I'd picked the wrong team. I thought I'd worked on things for a couple of days, and it was out the window after. It could have been out the window after whatever, when the second one went in, 10-12 minutes, whatever. But credit to the players, they turned it around. They stuck in there. We changed the system. We changed a few players. Believe me, it weren't for Tuesday or anything like that. It was always going to be Keith Lowe today, playing that role. I wanted three combative but technically decent midfield players with energy. Thought we had that, and I wanted to get some help to Sean Howard up front. And I thought the players worked it really well. I thought we looked, although we were 2 down, we'd also had 2 or 3 chances ourselves, and I thought we got what we deserved in the end.
I mean, as you say, you made that change, putting Keith Lowe there. Was that just for Akinfenwa?
It was certainly to do with that. I wanted a nice solid triangle of 2 centre halves and a man in front of him, just to protect him, because we'd worked on a couple of things, and like I say, it could have gone out the window. I'm asking Neil after the second goal's gone in if I've got to make changes as quickly as, but it was probably a sort of a flippant question. But to be fair to the lads, the expression "manned up," because I thought for 15 minutes we were out fought, and that's all we were, just out fought, out pressed, out everything. Maybe I don't know what happened on the pitch to spark them off. They suddenly competed. They suddenly remembered what we talked about who was going to compete with Akinfenwa, and all of a sudden we looked a different side, and we scored 2 good goals, 2 quick ones. Second half was tough. Balls are in your box all the time. I think they've got 13 6'3" players on the pitch at one stage, and they play to their strengths, but they're very, very good at what they do. And like I said, at one stage I thought we were going to get a tanking.
I mean, the first goal came at the right time. Great work by Chris Zabrowski down the left-hand side.
Their first goal?
No.
Yeah, it did, yeah. Zeb's, I thought we played some really good football in between having to defend for our lives. I thought Zeb's needed to come in and put in a good performance, and I thought he did. Sean was always hungry for goals. Was it Darren who scored? It was the good thing was we worked on the front 5, creating things, and I thought we caused them problems, and it was good to see people chipping in with goals.
You left Marlon Pack and Jermaine McGlashan on the bench. Was that because they got 4 bookings? Or?
Was it because they got 4 bookings? No, I was always going to play this system, and I didn't think Jermaine would be best suited by what we had. I've got some really good players, and I'm looking on the bench, and I'm almost sport for choice in terms of what I wanted to do. Today was always going to be 4-1-3 and try and get 2 strikers up against it. I wanted to try and get at their back 4, like I say, help Sean. We just did it slightly differently.
As you said, second half, long balls, and you said before the game about those long throws, and there's certainly plenty of them.
They're a massive weapon, and we didn't deal with them first start. Well, dealing with the one for the goal, but like I said, we learnt from it, and we had enough about us to deal with it and get our head on things. And if you do that, you're going to get the odd foul, because they're going to foul you.
And then the winning goal, a fantastic finish for Darryl.
It was a fantastic move. 2 or 3 passes on the break. Ian Randall said something to me on Thursday about Darryl scoring 4 goals against them last season. Jeff had a knock, didn't travel with the squad today. I've given a couple of the boys their training this morning and a breather. So Darryl and Mo was always going to be the option for us. A great finish. I had a chat with Darryl yesterday, and he got his rewards for the hard work that he's been putting in of late.
Because apparently he's asked you if he can go out on loan, and you apparently said no to that on a couple of occasions. But perhaps a good job you haven't let him out.
Yeah, listen, I'm never going to let. I'm not in. I want good strikers at the club. It's frustrating for a few people that they're not playing regular football as much as they like to. They're part of what we're trying to do, unless something happens. Otherwise, Darryl, I want to keep around. I think he played in the reserve game on Tuesday, worked his socks off. Just nothing was going to fall for him. Maybe he needed to come back here, and scored after he scored 2 last year. I remember. thought it might be set up for him, and hopefully, and so it proved.
It's the perfect confidence boost to go into Tuesday with.
Yeah, of course. It's 3 good points. We'll dust ourselves down. They've just finished the warm down. Tuesday will look after itself now.
But it is a massive game.
Today was more important. Today was 3 points. Tuesday's a big game, but it's a cup game against our local rivals, and hopefully we can be better than we were on Monday night.
Great, Mark. Thanks.
Cheers. How difficult now you got the result today is it going to be to pick a team for Tuesday night?
I honestly, I ain't really thought about it, John, to be honest. I've got a few things in my head because you have to plan. I'd like to get 13, 14 players out on a pitch and get 2 up front, get 2 wide men, get 3 in the middle of the park, get 5 at the back. I've got decisions to make, and I'm happy making them.
Yeah, it's obvious you weren't happy, but how did you feel when that first minute goal went in? Because all the talk about pre-match.
Well, we talked about long throws and Akinfenwa, and they scored from Akinfenwa after 60 seconds, and a long throw after however long it was. It was, like I say, I'm pulling my hair out and thinking I've made the wrong team. I've picked the wrong team. I've got the tactics wrong. But like I say, the credit to the players, they not remembered what we were doing, but we just manned up a little bit. We're a little bit more physical, a bit more competitive, and we looked like we got a threat on the break. We scored at the right time, and it got us back in the game.
Yeah, there's been times we've let goals in and it's really affected you, but today it seems to have the other effect when the second one.
Yeah, and like I said, and credit to the players, because I'm not really doing too much on the touchline there to affect it. They're the ones who've gone about the business, realised that we spent Thursday and Friday doing a little bit of tactical awareness of dealing with. We obviously didn't do it very well, so good performance and massive credit to the players.
I think that's Darren Carter's best game for a while.
I thought Darren was excellent. I thought everybody was. I can't say anyone had a poor game. Like I say, we didn't start well, and you can't do that too often, especially against a team as good as these. You can't give teams 2-goal starts, but fortunately we had enough in our locker to get out of trouble.
Yeah, so Jeff, it's just a minor.
He got a poor challenge in the reserve game on Tuesday, and he's not trained since. It's a bit of just swelling at the back of his leg and the back of his knee. So he's 50-50 for whether he's available for Tuesday or not. So we'll see where we are. Just
finally on Darryl, I mean, if you always wanted to keep him in, is he always been a big part of your plans?
Darryl's not going anywhere. He can't go anywhere, and he has. Yeah, we've had a few chats, and he's frustrated. I understand that. Maybe today gets him right back in the plans, and hopefully we can do that.
Yeah, brilliant. Cheers, Mark. Thanks a lot.
Ian Randall makes personal point shot.